Hi and welcome to another game video, and today's video is the final installment in cleaning up this original Game Boy. I bought it a few weeks ago. It was incredibly dirty. It's been stripped and cleaned both on the inside and the outside, and it's just got a couple of things that need to be done to it. The screen lens is horrendous, and it just it doesn't really stay on there. It's not glued on at all. Occasionally it will just fall out. So I've got a new one of those, and I've got a bit of a... it's not going to do it now, but every so often it's as if the batteries don't line up. There you go. So there's some contact issue there on the batteries. I've taken it all apart, given it a clean. That doesn't seem to have fixed it. So I'm going to replace the battery contacts, which is a fairly easy thing to do. I hadn't intended to, but I do want a working Game Boy, so I bought some replacement contacts. They're about $2.99, and they do look a little different to the ones that are in there. I'm assuming they're not sort of official. There you go. So that's what they look like. They don't have a tab anywhere, which is a little concerning, but we'll see. So first thing to do is to open the Game Boy itself. And to do that, you need to take out the tri-wing screws. There's 6 of those, 2 inside the battery compartment. And then 4 around the outside. And I'm hoping that replacing the contacts will fully resolve the issues I was having. There we go. So obviously don't pull up too quickly, because there we go, got 6 of those. Don't pull up too quickly because the top is still connected via this ribbon cable here, which just pulls out, so that can just be pulled out and put aside. Don't need to do anything to this, which is great because this has got lots of screws in. The bottom board is fairly easy to remove, so you've just got 2 screws here, and these are normal screws, Phillips. Get them out of there. So all the screws on the inside of a Game Boy, or a normal Game Boy, original Game Boy, are the same. So that's very handy. And then you just lift those out. That's fairly easy. Now if we look at the contacts on the board itself, that's all nice and clean. So then we need to take out the original battery contacts. Now make sure, there's a power button, make sure you know which way around they go in. So they would be like that, and as far as I can tell, these third-party contacts are all the same. No, that one, so we can see these, so it looks as if the spring piece and this sort of lump is closer to one edge, and the same with this one. So one of these goes one way round, so I'm assuming it is that way. So let's get these old contacts out, but remember which way round they go. And to get them out, you just press in the little tab that's here and press down on it. So before we pull it out, let's just make sure that is the right way. Okay, so this is the original one. Yes, there's a bit of corrosion still on it. And this is the new one. So just pop that in there. Okay, so there's no tab here to hold them in, but they do seem to fit in quite snugly. That's good. So then we remove the other 2. I would have liked to have had some proper tabs in there, but if that's what it is. So just push the tabs down and they will fall out. So these are the 2 new ones. So that pops in there. I don't like that very much. They're not very, not in there very sturdy. So the spring goes on the sort of bottom edge of the battery, so they must be right. They're not official. They're not great. They won't fall out. Oh, yes they will. Is there anything we can do? I mean, there's no little tab or anything. There's a little lump here, which can we sort of just get a bit more leverage on? Make it a tighter fit, maybe. Let's try that. Oh, that's better. So this one's alright, and this one's alright. So if you do buy some third-party ones and they don't seem to sort of fit very well, simply just bend the little tiny tabs, whereas these ones clip in on the outside of the case. That is it for the battery contacts. So it's just a case now of putting the boards back together, back in the machine. 2 contacts there. These are the contacts on the boards, and put the screws back in. So there should be 4. 2 in the headphone socket. As I said, probably one of the easiest consoles to ever take apart. There isn't much to them, and all the screws are the same on the inside. Oops. Oh, I lost this. Should really do this on like a towel or a cloth, so we don't scuff it, but I didn't really think of that. So put the 2 screws back in the board. Don't forget, which I have just done, to put your power switch in. Oh, luckily you can put it in afterwards. So that's that. And put them in. Then we connect the front up. Put this ribbon cable. There's no clips or anything on the side, so it just pushes in. So just be careful. Right, there we go. That went in a lot easier than it did last time. And pop the machine back together. That's not looking right. I'm wondering. Oh dear. Right, so you do need to be careful which way around you put in the power switch. And can I get that in there? Without taking the whole thing apart? It's not looking like I can. I don't want to damage anything. So the power button, yeah, it's got a little lug on there, so that needs to go. But you know what, I'm going to just take this board off for a risk of damaging anything. So make sure you put the power button in before you, there we go, how easy was that, before you put the casing on. There you go. Right. So yeah, do not try and squidge the power button in. It just won't go in for some reason. I could have saved myself a lot of time just by taking it out. So there you go, that's the power button back in. So put 2 screws back in that we just took out. Reconnect the top connector. Like I say, it just pushes in. No clips. There we go. And that should be it. Now, before we put it all back together, let's just test the let's just pop some batteries in there. I mean, they seem a lot nicer fit. They're very tight in there, which is a good thing. Oh, here we go. So, no issues there. So, replacing the contacts was a good idea. Let's just take them out. Just seem to have lost one of the battery contacts that I just put in. So they're not the greatest. They don't seem to hold in. I think you need to... Well, personally I would try and find some official ones, although that's going to be pretty difficult on a 30-year-old console. So just poke these little sticks, legs, whatever you'll call them, just so they fit in tighter. Like that, there we go. So, console back together. Let's get that all back together, get these screws back in. They're tri-wings. But I'm glad that has fixed the issue. So I'm restoring this Game Boy to its former glory. Just about. It's got a funky colour, but that's history. That's character, that is. It tells a story of a well-loved machine. So you just pop the 6 screws in. You've got 4 on the outside and 2 in the battery compartment, and that holds everything together. Okay, so that is that. There we go. Yep. And as you can see, my screen lens has fallen off. So we'll pop the batteries in here. Make sure that is fully tickety-boo. There we go. And then we move on to the final piece, which is putting on the new screen lens. So that is going to finish that off really nicely, because it looks much better than that, which is scuffed and scraped. So I've not changed one of these before, but I do know that there are multiple layers of sort of protection, shall we say, on these. So there's one on there's one here. Okay, so peel that off. Oh, apparently not. Some of them have a second piece on in the middle. And does this have one? Nope. Oh. So just make sure, because this is going to stick now, make sure the screen is clean. You can clean it over with some isopropyl if you need be. Just make sure there's no marks, no smudges, no bits of dirt floating underneath the screen, and make sure there's nothing on the lens itself. And it is simply a case of popping it in. You can't put it on wrong. It just goes in and job done. Got a small lip there. I don't know if you can see that, but I think that's probably some of the glue that was left on from before. And there we go. Look at that for a nice looking screen. Let's pop a game in that, and now we've got a fully restored Game Boy. Oh, yeah, with a copy of Tetris that doesn't really like to work very well. Here we go. Okay, look at that for a beautiful screen. So there you go, fully restored. This Game Boy has been through a lot since I've had it. It's been stripped down, All the plastics have been washed, all the boards have been cleaned with isopropyl, all the switches and buttons have been given a good clean out, battery contacts have now been replaced, and it's got a brand new screen lens, and I'm very happy with that. This lovely sort of brown colour gives it a bit of character. I could have sort of put it under UV light and tried to get some of the colour back, but I didn't feel like it, so there we go. This is my original Game Boy, all restored, and now I can just go off and enjoy it. I hope you've liked these videos, and I hope you found them helpful. Like, subscribe, enjoy.